All right.
Recording. Cool. So, welcome to the Groovy Movie Review, a show in which we talk about movies in a most righteous way. In this episode, we'll be talking about Dragon Ball Evolution, and it'll be co-hosted by Thomas, Nick, and myself, Devin. We're going to kick this off with our first segment, Exposition Inquisition, where we flash back on the story a bit, bring us up to speed. And if you mind spoilers, now's the time to abandon ship, but feel free to join us again in the future for weekly updates or check our backlog. With that said, we'll let Thomas guide our ship through our first segment.
All right. Hi, everyone. So our history with this movie is a little conflicted. None of us exactly like it. But back in '09, I was, of course, a big fan of Dragon Ball, the cartoon and everything. So I went into this excited to see like what they accomplished, and then right off the bat, 19-year-old me was very disappointed because the very first scene establishes that the whole origin story that we came to know and love was eliminated. They established like this weird thing that like Piccolo and Goku were like some ancient tag team that like, I don't know, terrorized the universe. The Saiyan thing isn't even mentioned. Namek isn't mentioned, and there's like a whole like Saiyan erasure. They don't even talk about it, and Goku's just simply like a reincarnated like super strong force that doesn't. He has to be retaught his powers. What was your guys' reaction to that kind of choice?
Yeah, definitely not ideal for sure. That choice was not very choice, in my opinion. Yeah.
No.
It was like the characters were were basically the same in name only.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was about the long and short of it. After that, they just said, all right, the character is named Goku, and then the other character is named Piccolo. All right, that's it.
Yep. That is it. That is all.
A little disappointing.
A little.
And yeah. Then from there we go into that first fight scene, which is kind of interesting. Establishes like how the style of the fighting is going to be with like the weird wire work and like floating and flipping and stuff.
Ooh, that's my favorite part. I love the wire work.
Crouching tiger, hidden dragon, like on a budget.
And this scene kind of establishes like the weird dynamic with Goku and Gohan, where like Gohan just absolutely owns Goku on a regular basis, and I think this kind of establishes Goku's desire to not get beat up all the time by his trainer and actually be powerful and like exert some force on other people. It's kind of how he gets to the boiling point where he starts beating up bullies and
Goku
stuff.
just wants to get good and own the noobs.
I've had enough of you.
And this is I think when it first zooms into like Goku on the little wire thing, the first rule is there are no rules is established. And I think that kind of it goes for the whole movie itself. I think they just threw everything out the window and just like F it, we're gonna make a blockbuster series and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
That's what they assumed. They said, yeah, man, everybody's totally gonna dig this. We totally didn't botch this. We have so much money. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna do it, and everybody's gonna love it. Meanwhile, the fan base.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we'll get into it more a little later, but it's obvious that they're trying to build a franchise and they fail miserably.
Oh yeah.
I think we'll talk a little more at the end about like where we see this series going if they kept all the same actors and where it could have grown, I guess, and maybe been passable. But we can get to that later. I have a theory about the whole watermelon scene where Gohan just knocks Goku out with like the crane strike and just sends him into watermelons. Uh, uh, my theory is that Gohan is just toying with Goku, and that he actually doesn't like to eat watermelon. He just keeps him there just for the effect of knocking Goku's head into them. And Goku his whole life has been yearning just to taste watermelon, but he only gets to taste it when his head goes into a watermelon and gets mixed with dirt and just kind of goes down from his scalp into his it drips down into his mouth, and that's the only gratification he gets
That
of
is some
tasting
real deep
watermelon.
cuttage right
Gohan
there. That's
withholds it
intense.
from him. And he times it out so that they have a savage fight right when the watermelon gets ripe, so that way Goku can't sneak out and try to taste it before it's ripe. And he times it out so that he just destroys the watermelons with his face, and then that's it. It's just a constant yearning for watermelon, and always, it's like dangling the carrot, and then it
That's
just
truly
keeps,
beautiful. I think that Gohan is a very sadistic person for that.
it coming up with this kind of theory makes the movie a little more interesting for me, than what was actually on the
Fills
screen.
the gaps with something actually entertaining.
Yeah. And from there, after the fight, we get into the little teenage angst, or angst, however you want to pronounce it. What do you guys think of that melodrama of like him not fitting in and all that? Do you think that was the right choice?
It was mad predictable. I'm gonna be upfront. If you really want to keep it a buck, it was just so predictable. And I'm watching I feel like I've seen this movie before. It was just so many different tropes in that flick that I just said there is nothing about it that surprised me. A lot of that stuff had been done in other movies before, and I think that was one of the most noticeable flaws about the film overall, was that it did a lot of stuff that had already been seen before. And not just that, it was incredibly predictable and campy. I wasn't sold. So it was so much harder to be invested in the film when every line and every predictable trope, because when he bounced out to go to that party and ended up fighting those bullies, I'm like, Grandpa Gohan's gonna die. And
It's just the high school movie playbook right there.
like, father, no.
Yeah, that's all they gotta do. That's like every teenage melodrama. The outcast is always the hero.
It'd be like
they're never in with the in crowd. They're never cool. They're never normal.
They always got family members that died, father figures, so to speak. Yeah, I'm surprised Grandpa Gohan didn't look at that motherfucker like, with great power comes great responsibility.
Nah.
He's like, go get the
He
other
was more
Dragon
like,
Balls.
prepare to eat dirt. I think he was a little more sadistic about it. I can just freaking body you all day long, every day. I gotta get this in. They pushed me so far, I want to explode.
Oh yeah. Come on, Goku. You need to relax a little, man. It's not that serious.
If it was like a bad movie with good acting, it would be so much more digestible. But it's a bad movie with bad acting and bad writing. It's just
It's a triple threat.
Combination. I'm sitting there there is no way I would take my kids to see this after having watched Dragon Ball. They would be mad at me. If I had kids and I took them to see that movie, they'd be like, this shit is whack, Dad. Can we go?
Yeah, that was the backstory for me. Is even me at 19 was already skeptical. I waited for it to end its initial run at the theater, and then it went into the second run theater in town, where it's only $3 for a ticket, and that's where I saw it, and I still felt cheated. So that'll tell you a little bit about 19-year-old me and my expectations.
It's a little bit harder to have high expectations after that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Especially from Paramount.
I've never been the same.
That was one thing I expected, because it was Paramount, that they were going to do something, valuable with the film. I said, oh, they got Paramount money. And so then,
Paramount makes one of my
talk about
favorite
cutting corners.
Nickelodeon films.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah,
Rugrats?
buddy.
Oh man, I'm telling you, dog. Those movies were good though. A series of films about a bunch of babies
Yeah.
was so much more palatable than the world's most popular anime franchise being made into a live action movie. And they
And that was the
just
problem.
they had
The live action aspect.
I mean, like it could have been done right. I think it could have, but they just chose to. It's weird, like that's part of the reason why like video game and anime adaptations, like live action adaptations, get a bad rep because these studios take them and then they completely change everything about it and then try to they completely rebrand it and then try to sell it back to people like they're not gonna notice that they completely changed all of the story elements.
Yeah. It's like a blockbuster cookie cutter thing. Like it needs to fit a certain mold. So they cut out everything that doesn't fit.
It's like, I'll give you a good example. I read the graphic novel for Civil War when I was living at my uncle's house. And as it came out, I mean, well, he had the whole graphic novel. So I read it like just like a couple weeks after he got it. And this is long before the film was even thought of. So then I go and see the film. And after Captain America Civil War, I was legitimately pleased. I was truly pleased. That's probably one of my favorites in the entire like franchise of MCU films, like because it was so loaded. Even though it didn't necessarily follow the exact same trope and script that the graphic novel displayed in its story, it was still enjoyable because it took something and it said, all right, let's take this one major plot device and then flip it into a story that works for our universe while still giving, whereas with Dragon Ball Super, they like I said, the characters are Dragon Ball in name only.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution. He said Super, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, well, it might as well have been as bad.
Yeah.
It's big sad, man. Big sad.
Oh yeah, man.
But next we can go into that the whole like school scene next, where the bullies are introduced along with Chi Chi, the classic 30-year-old high schoolers playing 18-year-olds, and the classic bully put down of Geeko.
Geeko. You think like with all their Hollywood money, they could have come up with something better than that. I thought they had writers.
Yeah, it's like you're playing with PG-13. That's a sandbox where you can use some actually good insults.
Yeah, but no, Geeko. That's some like.
It was PG-13, right?
I think so, probably. But yeah, that's some real weak.
That movie was PG-13.
Maybe not. Maybe that's why they went with Geeko. Crap.
Let's see. PG. Yeah. Geeko.
Dang.
All right.
That's where they messed up
sad.
Right there.
Dang. They were going for the widest audience
have the
possible.
Strawberry fantasy scene. Oh.
They should have just gone PG-7 if they're going to take it down that much, Like, go all the way. That's sad.
Yeah. Upgrade that Geeko to at least a loser or something like that.
They invented their own whack name.
Dweeb.
Now it's even worse.
I feel like that should be the new calling card for all losers everywhere. Geeko. Yeah.
Geeko.
That should be a club. The Losers Club.
The best possible insults.
You know?
Yeah.
Right. Save a bunch of money on your car, on your cloud
just
insurance.
Just call Geeko the Gecko.
He rose from being picked on in high school to the CEO of an insurance company.
He really upgraded.
Yeah, the insurance company, they hand out insurance on the Nimbus Cloud 2000.
Yeah, no Nimbus either.
Yeah,
Forgot about that.
No,
not one
Oxking.
mention of the Nimbus.
He was probably in all
How
those
you have
clouds that
Chi-Chi
kept
without the
forming
Oxking?
for every ominous scene. He was watching over in spirit.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe in the second movie they were going to establish the Nimbus.
Let him fly.
they're gonna establish Vegeta as well, right? And then they're gonna establish Planet Namek and Frieza all in like 5 minutes.
Oh, you already know.
Maybe.
And then they were just gonna retcon the entire first movie. You like psych? Everything about airbending?
But hey,
Nah.
man, it just was bad, dude.
Yeah,
I
they
saw
just
that.
blended the airbending with the key thing, and it was just very confusing.
Let's see how much bullshit we can get
Yeah,
away
after they
with.
kill off Goku, or
Yeah.
was it? They killed off Gohan. They killed off Piccolo, quote unquote. Yeah,
Yeah.
It were, Goku really was the last Airbender. So,
Yeah. Well, they brought
you're
Roshi
right.
back.
You're right, man. That's okay. He's Legend. He's from Legend of the Legend of Korra.
Oh man, I can't even
So-
begin.
We kind of talked about the high school tropes already, but what do you guys think with establishing that kind of dynamic where, like Goku's enamored with like the bully's girlfriend, and that she's like, why are you gonna go after someone that's like running with that kind of crowd, and like why are you attracted to that? It's just kind of just weird. I don't know.
Sadistic man. Yeah, you like what you can't have.
I guess.
I mean,
Oh, quick. Go ahead. Yeah.
nah, he knew she was the only one who was gonna be able to handle him.
I guess so.
That's
Man.
it. That's the only. She's the only one.
Oh yeah.
These other women, I'll
Yeah.
split them in half.
Is it because all the
You
the
know?
fighting
I think
and stuff?
he knew that he was gonna be a bully, and he wanted a girl that was down
Yeah,
with it.
she saw his bully potential, so she was just waiting for him to come
Yeah.
out of his bully egg and become a full blown bully.
It's off the Richter scale.
Yeah, he was a bully
Yeah,
embryo at this
yeah.
point. Quick digression. I can't resist. It's just back to like the 30-year-old high schoolers. I had I had an actual problem like growing up being so confused, like watching high school movies where they used obviously older actors to play high schoolers for obvious maturity reasons. Like it's easier to get a older person to play down in age and not have to deal with immaturity. But my whole life I thought like as I was going up through the ranks that by the time I got to high school, like I should be like buff and like have a beard and all this stuff, and it like set me up to think like I was not like meeting the potential that was established in like every movie, that you're gonna look like a certain way and all your peers are gonna be like all fully formed human beings by that point. I'm just like, am I behind? What's going on here? I don't know if you guys agree, if you ever noticed that and felt insecure about that.
I mean, I always felt similar to that because I always joked that I didn't hit puberty until I was 21 because I didn't get any type of facial hair until then. So yeah, it's brutal.
Dang.
It's brutal. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely see where you're coming from with that for sure. Yeah.
Classic one is Spider-Man. The first Spider-Man with Tobey
Flash,
Maguire.
man.
Those
Oh my
kids were
God.
just
For real.
developed, man. I think Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire was already like freaking in his midlife crisis at that point. I don't know, man.
Right. I mean, like he didn't age much in between those films because they all look the same.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them and they all look the
Uh-huh.
same.
Yep.
Like, I mean, except for James Franco. Oh, he looks the same as well.
Yeah. No redeemable characters.
Like I understand
man.
why they do it. It's just like kind of misleading for the youth to think like, dang, that's what high school's gonna be like. Crap,
Right?
I'm scared.
Then you actually get there and it's like, wait a minute, where is this? Where
Yeah.
are all these people at?
I'm like, am I having like a nutrient deficiency? What's wrong with all of us? Is there something in the
They
water?
said I should drink milk. I guess
What's
they
wrong
were
with our
right.
community?
Haven't been
That's
drinking enough.
funny.
And then I learned it
Yeah.
was all fake, and then
Yeah.
I feel better now.
They need to
Fake
get
news.
better actors in there, like Tom Holland. You know, people who actually look young.
Yeah. He can grow into the Spider-Man role, and he can actually play the whole arc of getting older and everything. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I like that.
I mean, Tony Stark aged with RDJ aged with Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Yeah.
if you watch Iron Man and then you watch Endgame, like Tony looks significantly older. You know, he's more bitter and everything like that. So
World
I think it was
weary.
pretty
He's
cool.
a weathered
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Okay. From there, we'll move along from that little digression. What did you guys think of that scene, that first, like, Piccolo and Mai scene where they just collect their first Dragon Ball and nuke a whole village, like, with, like, his finger? Like, I think that, like, was established. They wanted to establish them as, like, villains to be taken seriously, but I think that was, like, a little too overpowered to establish these guys as. Because then it kind of made the rest of the Dragon Ball hunt seem kind of ridiculous when they start off with that, like, oh, we could just blow it up and then just go in the wreckage and collect the Dragon Ball after everyone's
Yeah, it
dead.
definitely seems excessive.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. I mean, it's almost in line with how Vegeta. What was it, Vegeta or was it Raditz? I think it was Raditz actually. He's just like blowing up cars and stuff when he
Yeah.
first lands on Earth. Doesn't care about people. I think it's in the
Uh-huh.
same vein. So
Yeah. But still, I'm just like, it kind of made the whole rest of the movie seem like not even needed.
when they just have like that,
they knew exactly
when
where
they
to
have,
go.
like no need to search for it. Yeah. They knew where it was.
Yeah.
They knew what to do. It establishes them as like these powerful people, and then all of a sudden, as soon as you actually see them, you know, throughout the rest of the movie, it's like they got depowered. Yeah,
They're kind of bumbling.
They're
Yeah.
ultimately just idiots.
Yeah, we'll get into that later, but there's one especially elaborate scene where they try to come up with a plot to steal the Dragon Balls later, and yeah, we'll get into that later. But from there, it goes back to school again. Goku's sitting in class. He basically reveals that his grandpa has been feeding him conspiracy theories about the origin of humanity or something weird like that. Like, do you guys remember that part?
Yeah.
The
What does he
origin
say?
of humanity.
Oh man, what did he say? It was something.
Because they were talking about like the universe or something.
Yeah, it was. I think he said something about like ancient people trying to stop Piccolo or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And then the teacher's just like, "Are
They're
you?
all
Are you
Goku."
an idiot?" Like,
And then there's many yikes or like cringe worthy moments, but the first like yikes for me was that little strawberry fantasy scene with Chi Chi.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was too much for me.
oh yeah,
I couldn't believe that. Like, she's just in slow mo eating a strawberry, and then we already established this is a PG movie. I don't know, like that seems a little extreme for like little kids to be like learning, like, yeah, you know, just
sexualize everything.
fantasize about your classmates and eating strawberries and crap. I don't know.
I mean, well, they had freaking Bulma expose herself to Roshi for a Dragon Ball in the anime, so it's like, ugh. I think that's like,
Yeah, I'm glad they toned it
down.
down from that.
Yeah, that's passable, rather than dealing with a fucking pedophile in this damn movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's better on
I-
that front.
I have a good Roshi take that we'll get to later. Yeah. It also establishes if we're gonna analyze something deep into this movie, his Goku's association with fruit. Watermelon is the source of his pain. Strawberry is the source of his pleasure. I don't know. Let's read into it. Fruit defines him.
Ultimately, he's got like a whole chakra flow chart of fruit-based points in his
Yeah,
body.
aphrodisiacs.
He's got one for consciousness.
Oh yeah.
Will.
Yeah, it's like those there's this like massage place in the mall where I work, and they have a chart on the window that shows like the foot like diagrammed and all the parts of the foot and what part of the body it's linked to. So it kind of reminds me of that. Like, you massage your big toe, it affects your digestion or something like that. I don't
Massage
know.
the small toe, it affects
Yeah.
your kidneys.
Sick.
Massage the middle toe, it
Right.
affects your watermelon.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, word.
And then from there we get to the reveal where Chi-Chi learns that Goku may be a future bully boyfriend for her, where she learns that he has a key
Oh
power.
yeah.
Opens up all the lockers.
That thing that he was struggling with, managing his key.
Yeah,
He's ultimately all powerful all of a sudden.
yeah. All it took was a little
Uh-huh.
Chi-Chi in his life.
No, that's all. You know what that is? She giving him that Kaioken on the tip.
Hey.
Yikes. But then, yeah, he agrees to go to the party later, and then he's just fully sprung at this point. Even at the cost of his relationship with Grandpa Gohan, he just in the next scene just disses his yearly annual birthday meal of squabs and chicken
Squab.
feet, which was sad for me to see. Like, it was their tradition, 18 years of it, and he just threw it all away.
Poor granddad.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, that's part of the that's part of Dragon Ball that sounds like Goku. You know, that unfeeling part of, oh well, it died.
Yeah,
over.
like not relating to human emotions and stuff.
Like at all, like that, and he's a country bumpkin, you know. So when you mention that he's, you know, having squabs and chicken feet, it's like, yeah, but that sounds like Goku anyway, because he's a freaking country bumpkin.
Yeah, and maybe he wanted to escape that toxic environment of getting like worked
Yeah.
over. Probably right after he finished eating, Grandpa was gonna like start wailing on him or something. Who
Yeah,
knows?
it's like when it's like he asked to be normal. Obviously, he's not getting that at home. His grandpa's like, normal's overrated. You
Yeah.
can't be normal here. You gotta eat
Eat
squabs,
dirt.
man. Squabs and dirt. You gotta get that melon drip on your
That's
head.
funny.
Yeah,
That ran in.
try to get a little drop. Then there's that classic scene where Goku's in front of the mirror getting ready for the party, and he's trying to style his hair in a non-spiky way with product. He's putting product in his hair, and then it like shoots back up, and he just like accepts it. Which that hair will come
man.
into play in the next scene. It's one of our favorite scenes. We'll save it until then. But this is where one of the other cringe moments for me is when right before Goku's gonna make his entrance into the party, he looks in the mirror right when he's gonna leave home and says, "Beauty awaits," and I'm still perplexed by what that even means.
He was intending to go and swoop somebody's woman.
Oh
I
yeah.
guess so. After destroying their car and embarrassing them.
That's how you
I
do
don't
it,
know,
man.
Hey, he didn't destroy their car. They destroyed their car
yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
destroy
He made
him.
them hit. See,
Uh-huh.
classic psychological advantage right there.
Psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can jump into that scene now where he arrives on the party. A few key quotes there. Right when he's about to square off with them. Classic bully talk. "Trouble found you, freak." And then they get ready to fight. And Goku says, "Don't worry, it won't be a fight. It'll be a massacre." I mean, it's kind of a cool line. I mean, maybe it's the coolest line in the movie, but
There was no bloodshed.
Yeah.
yeah, the fight didn't live up to the
Yeah.
promise.
He didn't even throw a
the
punch.
massacre.
Like, it's pretty sad.
He didn't. I was
Yeah,
expecting
which is-
him to pick one of the guys up by the ankle and then just slam him into the ground repeatedly. You know,
Like in that meme.
Mhm.
I'm gonna hit a mother effer with a mother effer.
But what he did do effectively was humiliate everybody, which I think he learned from his years of being abused by Gohan. I think.
Yeah,
at
what do
this
they
point.
say? Monkey see, monkey do. Be the Ozaru inside you.
it's like That fool went on
Exactly.
Pimp My Ride, dog. He's like, yo, I heard you like fights, so I put some fight in your fight so you can fight while you fight.
Yeah, buddy.
Deleted
Yeah, I
scene.
love that, man.
The freestyle hype
Uh-huh.
up from earlier in the movie.
It's like, yo, man, I heard you like wishes, so I put some Dragon Balls in your Dragon Balls so you can wish while you Dragon Ball.
Oh man. Oh, I want to get you guys a perspective on the inciting incident that led to the fight actually boiling over. The bully, I don't know his name. It wasn't the main bully Fuller. It was the other like henchman bully. He decided to take his drink, whatever he was sipping on at this high school party, and decides to slowly pour it out around Goku's
Yeah.
shoes. And that's when he
Yeah,
crossed
it
the
wasn't
line.
even on the shoes.
Splash
It was
some
near the
liquid
shoes.
onto his shoe. That's a
Yeah,
no-no.
don't ever,
Dude,
don't
like,
ever
that was like
disrespect
a
the floor near
whole.
my shoes.
The fool was like, dog, these are fresh Pumas. What you doing?
Now I can't step towards you.
They
punk.
still got the tags on them.
Stuff is redonkulous, man.
Fresh air nimbuses.
Yeah,
Uh,
just another example of terrible writing, terrible acting.
yeah.
It's like
yeah.
the actors had
Absolutely.
they had no.
Guidance.
Yeah, well, I mean, like even if they had guidance, they didn't have any wherewithal within themselves to say, you know, what would be an even better way to do this if I actually poured it on your feet. Then it's actually disrespectful.
Yeah, right?
You know? Like they never thought to make those changes themselves. They had no freedom in their own acting. So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
They
You
were
should have said,
probably
"Hey,
on
director,
set.
like, man, let's do something a little more disrespectful right here if we're gonna start a brawl."
Yeah.
Be like, hey, have him like punch him in the gut. Be like, dude, you're gonna rupture his freaking internal organs. Be like watching Mortal Kombat. Like, but no, in all seriousness, I think they, I truly believe that they might have been on set and they just really were probably so despondent about the creative process for this film that they just kind of said,
Yeah.
all right, let's wing it. Like, let's just get this over with and just film this scene so that way we don't have to worry about anything later. Because just the way they, like, I thought they were going to provoke him and actually try to fight, and he was going to have one of these dope choreographed fight scenes where he, takes on like 5 different guys at the same time. But nah, dude, when I watched that, I said, man, this is weak.
Yeah. There was the classic slow mo usage where the guy slowly falls into the fountain.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing. I'm just like, that's where you wanted to use your slow mo budget on? Was that guy falling into a fountain?
Not even for bullet time.
Since
And then Nick, I'll let you go off on the destroying the car scene because I know there's a certain part of that scene that you really love.
Yeah, so he gets into it with these guys, and of course, this all-out 5-on-1 brawl starts with the main antagonist of the group pouring water near Goku's shoes. Not even on him or on his shoes, but like near his shoes. Like, and, I mean, it was water too. So then, as time passes, these guys proceed to fight Goku, and they just keep swinging at him while he's dodging all their punches. But the most telling part was when he comes up against, like, basically who I deem to be, like, the secret boss character, right?
Yeah.
Amongst all of these bullies. This dude comes out and starts swinging at Goku, and Goku's doing all kinds of stuff, maneuvering around this dude, getting him to destroy his car. And at one point, Goku slides on his freaking head across the top of the car. Like, I was like, damn, that gel must have worked really well.
yeah,
It
boy.
must be something you can only get. I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
High
quality.
fortune teller Baba gave him some of that high quality stuff.
Slickest oil you can
Is
find.
Is it genetics? Is it his hair products? Is it his Garnier Fructis or whatever he's using
Maybe
in his
it's
hair?
Maybelline.
What
You never
is
know.
it?
It could be anything.
Nah, it's freaking. It's that special stuff that they got from Fortune Teller Baba. You don't know, bro? Yeah,
Oh,
man. Like
okay, okay.
put a little bit of that Senzu mix in it.
Ooh.
Be gelling for life. You know how they in the Dragon Ball universe they don't have Doctor Scholl's. They got Doctor Senzu. I'm telling you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but him sliding on the on top of the car on his head like that, I thought that was rather funny. Even when
Yeah.
when I saw the film the first time, I just
Yeah.
felt I had to pause the film because it was just so hilarious to me. Because I said, why? I mean, it's a nice little touch just to make the scene a little less campy, but of all
Honestly,
Yeah.
just like it
things,
sticks out so much as just like the corniest, but I don't know, like kind of it's actually funny because it's kind of so corny. Like it's just like shocks you in the middle of like this whole little fight scene. It's just like, "Hey bud, how you doing?"
look at the swagness.
Yeah.
And,
It's just funny though, because the tone, like in a normal circumstance, okay, cool, corny, but the circumstance of what he's doing is making the guy destroy his whole car, and then he's just gonna just move on and steal his girl. Like it's so
Yeah.
dark that he's just toying with the guy and then just gonna ruin his life
is
in
that
such
you know
a
what?
cartoony way.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. He's like, you can't compete against me. I'm a superpowered alien, dog. Or a superpowered deity of folklore.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
The monkey god.
Then from there it goes into scene with Chi-Chi and Goku. I don't really have anything too interesting about that to talk about. Do you guys have anything to add about that scene where they're kind of
Not
talking?
really. I don't think there's really
No,
too
not
much to
really.
say.
It was whack. It was
All right.
forgettable.
And from there, his grandpa Gohan senses start tingling when he realizes Piccolo is
Killing his dad, his
Nearby.
Gonna-
granddad.
gonna murk him.
Because it's a 187 on an undercover car.
Which I think this scene is kind of interesting where they try to steal the Dragon Ball because it's already establishing. I think we mentioned off camera that maybe their tactics here of not just going in and blowing up Gohan's house is that they know they can sense more powerful beings, so they decide to not push their luck and go in covertly and try to steal it, I guess, is the justification if we want to nitpick and try to make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
I guess if that's what we want to do.
Because otherwise there is no movie, I guess, if they just blast the poor
Village to
dude's house along with his watermelon crops.
yeah.
And
They just
blast
came
the
through
village
like,
to
hey man, you know, we're
smithereens,
really
they
just
blow up
looking
a
for the
house,
Dragon
and then all of a
Balls.
sudden, you know, when it comes to Goku, they're like, all right, we gonna be sneaky.
Yeah. My theory is that Piccolo, which I guess I don't know, they don't explain the backstory of his little assistant. I'm assuming she's human, so he recruited her
Right.
somehow when he arrived on Earth, which is kind of strange. But I think he uses her to do most of. She's pulling most of the weight. My theory
Pretty
is
much.
Piccolo's adjusting to the oxygen levels on Earth, and he needs to lay low. He can't exert himself. If I
You
want
never
to save
know.
the writing.
Makes
I mean-
sense. Makes perfect sense.
Easily, like more everything else is tolerable, but the writing is just like one thing I don't know if I can get over, dude. It's just that bad. Like, and so when I look at that, like, and I hear them say the things that they say, I'm like, dude, what made them think this is like okay to approve outside of the storyboard room?
Oh man, I guess they needed that Uncle Ben moment for Goku. I guess is probably what they patterned this off of was Spider-Man. I don't know.
It
definitely
wasn't a good idea.
Because the problem is Gohan is not Uncle Ben. Like they establish him as an absolute like beast when they're fighting. I just don't believe that he would die from like a little bit of lumber falling on him from his house.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Plot armor.
Yeah,
The
I'm still
greatest
convinced that back to the.
type. I was
go
just
ahead,
saying,
Devin.
Plot
What were
armor,
you gonna say?
the greatest type. That ish is thick. Like 4 C's.
Hell yeah.
I'm I'm still, to make this interesting for me, I'm still going with the nefarious Gohan theory. I feel like he was just ready to die, and he was able to, he was powerful enough to will himself to die just to teach Goku a lesson for abandoning his squabs.
He said, "Finally, I'm free of this kid.
Jesus
Change my
Christ.
life. Start a new life
Let's
somewhere else."
psychologically
He's
ruin
just
him.
trying to like make him more and more sad with every interaction he has with him. He's just trying to make this kid like more and more mentally damaged. It's like how else can I screw up this kid's future? His mental health.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Which raises a question. Does Gohan know that Goku's going to transform when the moon comes? Because he mentions the moon at some point, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he knows about the legend and that he's going to turn into a monster? Or
I don't
that
know.
he just doesn't know? I wonder. If he knew, like, hey, man, this guy's going to transform and rip me apart in a few days anyways, I might as well have some fun with it. And I'll just die. I'll go out on my own terms rather than getting ripped apart by a werewolf.
Go out like a champ.
Yeah, and just haunt him for life.
I feel it. I would like to do that. I would definitely do that myself. I'm gonna be on Grandpa Gohan's side this entire thing.
Yeah, you know. You gotta have some agency at the end. Alright. Anything else to talk about the Gohan death scene? And the subsequent burial?
Moving on.
Yeah. I mean, that's a goal, right? Getting buried on your
I think
property.
so. Yeah.
That's a life goal.
I mean, that may not be the
I think that's
necessary.
an honorable burial.
May not necessarily be like how we imagine it to happen, but you know, I think that's a pretty good way.
But
That's
he's like,
kind of
this is as close to
how,
respectful as they're
that's kinda
gonna
like how
get.
the pharaohs do it. You know, they get buried with their property. That's how Gohan did it.
Nice.
He went down with literally his whole house.
I throw it all in the casket.
Yeah, like they sealed the tomb
Yeah.
over him. Nice. From there, we introduced Bulma. She's ready to blast Goku because she's trying to retrieve a Dragon Ball that was stolen from Capsule Corp, which I thought was kind of a cool little sequence. Her like trying to chase down Mai. I thought that was like the most interesting action sequence that they shot. It was kind of cool, like her chasing her and everything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a bright spot. If we could pick a bright spot, is kind of Bulma's whole like capability of being a good fighter and everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, but we had to find something good about it.
The silver lining.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that she called them Prometheum orbs at first, and then he called them Dragon Balls, and then she quickly just like, yeah, Prometheum orb is stupid. I'll just call them Dragon Balls, and then name my radar after it too. You're right, Goku.
Like, yeah, because, you know, it's always the best decisions. Just go exactly with what this little country bumpkin, never having seen barely anyone ass full is going to be good. Like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's so weird because, like, they kind of, like, met under the same circumstances in this film. But I always think back to the fact that she shot this dude point blank in the dome when they first met.
Yeah.
Like, that was the one
He
thing.
took
Is they didn't put that in here. You know, like, of course, you know, it's PG, so they had to make it look like PC. Like, no, you watch the anime, when they first met, she had a gun. She had a gun and a bike. And she was looking for the Dragon Balls. And she did have the Dragon Ball radar. But when she saw Goku and he destroyed her bike, she shot him in the head, like, and he was like, ow, that hurt. Like, just took a bullet off his forehead, like, and she's like, what is this kid? You know? Some things stayed intact as far as, like, the procession of the film goes, and, you know, when it as to how it relates to the original source material, but man,
I think ultimately that's the whole.
I think Bulma is still
a stopped clock is right twice a day type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
That reminds me real quick, guys. I thought part of the charm of the Dragon Ball series was the fact that Goku was a kid, and they kind of lost that with this, that he was 18. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think they really wanted to try to go away from the whole kid angle, just because they're like,
Yeah.
let's try to make it seem like it's more mature. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I think that's kind of the franchise building thing. They're like, okay, we need someone older so that we can jump in and he'll be the same actor can play Goku as an adult. So they had to go with the 18-year-old thing. But I just the whole him as a kid was pretty interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
I just don't
All right.
understand how they found this guy to play Goku.
I don't know, man. We'll get into him a little later too when we talk about potential sequels, which we're not going to close the door on the sequel. It could still be in the works.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm closing the door on it.
All right, well, we'll move on to the next scene for now, and then we'll get back to that later. So next, they kind of start going after the Dragon Balls, and we introduce Master Roshi by breaking and entering into his house, which is kind of sketch, but I guess that's the
Plot
entitlement of Bulma. That she thinks she can do whatever she wants. I don't know.
Plot armor.
So, what do you guys... I thought that was a pretty good fight scene, the Roshi-Goku fight. Like, it's quick, but it's still kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the fight scenes in general, they were semi-redeemable.
Yeah.
They obviously could have been better, but ultimately I don't think that they were fully terrible. The wire work is where it starts to get real campy, real corny, real weird, but it starts to like give you a little giggle. But the basic choreography is pretty interesting. So I think they did an alright job with that.
And I guess the PG angle is kind of why this happened, but they really toned down the Roshi being a pervert thing, which I think was a good call, because this movie would have aged even worse if he was a raging pervert, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they had to kind of cut that out because, they realized that they marketed this movie as PG in the States, and as long as kids are going to see that, parents ain't going to take their kids to see it. It makes me wonder just how many parents do and don't know about, like, Roshi's, like, perverted nature in the anime, in the manga.
Yeah. Which, thinking back on that, I'm just like, man, I can't believe they even did that in the anime. Like, that's something like that just aged horribly now. His is, and there's just the shades of just creepiness when you look into it. Like in the anime, Roshi had his own little island, which who knows what happened on that island, and I can't help but think of the connections to Jeffrey Epstein when I think of Roshi.
I knew you were gonna say
It was
it.
the Jeffrey Epstein of the commie house.
I'm sorry, guys. I have
The
to.
turtle.
It's just
I
I had
knew
to
The
say
turtle
it.
was the Ghislaine Maxwell.
No, the turtle was
They're
Mitch
trying to get-
McConnell.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Then Launch is Ghislaine.
There's a resemblance.
She's got the sweet and the evil side.
But yeah, we'll never know. It's like a chicken or the egg situation. We'll never know who inspired who.
Pretty much.
We'll brush over it. One other, if we're gonna go on that for one more second, I can't help it. The fact that they kind of kept the island isolated theme where he was like living in a giant pit and the city was built around him. I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like he doesn't need to be on an island. Why did you guys have to do that? But then it just enforces my Predator theory that instead of having him stay away from schools and stuff like that, they just move the schools away from him. I guess is what that represented to me. It's effective. Just move the whole city away from that creep.
Call it a day. It's
but yeah.
easier, ultimately. Just dig a big ditch. Wonder how long it took that construction project to finish.
Yeah.
Not
I
very
guess
long.
justice system works slowly in that city over there. So like rather than going through that process of indicting this guy, let's just dig a hole around him so he can't hurt anyone else.
They probably just used a bunch of airbenders to push all of
Right.
the dirt out of the way.
Oh man. But yeah, from there we go on their little Dragon Ball quest, and introduce Yamcha, um, which there's not much to say about Yamcha. He's pretty lame, and I don't know what they're
Yeah.
trying to do with his character too
Yeah,
much.
real campy, real corny, and
uh,
I guess
in theme with the movie.
they intended to establish him in the sequel.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, he was gonna be a love interest for Bulma, I'm sure.
Just so that he could get
Until
rocked
Vegeta
by
comes along.
exactly get everything taken from him by
Yeah.
Vegeta.
Right.
Oh man. There was a cool scene, like a good physical comedy bit in this scene where Roshi decides, because Yamcha had caught them in a giant hole, and then Roshi decides to just jump out of it, which I don't know why he didn't do that earlier.
Yeah.
Showing
And then,
Been trapped
humility.
in there for like 10 hours.
Yeah,
and then at the
right?
very end, they're like, oh, well, just kidding. Never needed to be here in the first place. And he just hops out.
Right.
And then they're friends with Yamcha, and they get him to help him drill for the Dragon Ball or
Yeah.
something like that. But there's this scene where Yamcha, or this bit where Yamcha tries to fist bump Roshi, and then he goes into like a defensive martial arts stance. I don't know. I just appreciated that as like a moment of levity. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there we go into Piccolo trying to beat them to the next Dragon Ball, which is located at an active volcano. So he decides once again
Oh,
he doesn't want
God.
to go into the atmosphere yet or something. He decides to send minions out, some blood monsters that he creates from his actual blood, and then we get to the volcano fight, which there's a lot of interesting elements to this fight. uh, Especially the blood monsters are very buoyant in lava and can be used as stepping stones. I thought was the most interesting takeaway. What about you
Yeah,
guys?
I mean, if they're made from like...
I have to ignore
Yeah,
science.
if they're made from droplets of blood, obviously they don't have a lot of mass to them, so... Area to mass, it's, they're gonna be buoyant. Science. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Nah, no way, bro. Like when I seen that, I was just amazed. Like, you know, because when when they were fighting and he started throwing him into lava, I'm like, oh, okay, getting rid of him real quick, you know. But no, when he started skipping across them over the lava, I just could not believe it. I
Stepping
said,
stones.
what?
And then they slowly start sinking like a few minutes later. So they weren't gonna float forever. But how did they not break down faster than that?
Plot armor.
That's what it's all about.
man. A little funny thing I noticed also was that Roshi was. They're trying to establish that he's old, like in the anime, but he's not obviously
Yeah.
old. But they want him to. He's playing like he's old, so he's having a tough time with his cardiovascular endurance going hiking up a volcano. I thought that was interesting because
Yeah.
it's like all of his mentor figures are super overpowered, but then they get undone by like something lame, like they have a bad heart
Yeah.
or something. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Oh man. But yeah, and then from there we go to the temple scene where I guess their little fix it all for fighting Piccolo is the Mafu Ba thing, where they get these like monks to chant and create it. And what is it supposed to do?
It's supposed to
again?
be like the evolution version of the evil containment wave, where it like holds him and just keeps him inside of like the pot. So it's it's just supposed to like capture him like a freaking Pokeball. But it's supposed to kill
Yeah.
the user. So yeah,
Oh, crap.
Death.
High stakes.
Yeah. Like Roshi said, when you put it that way,
Yeah.
the plan sucks. Upon learning that it was going to kill him.
1 for 1.
Which I also thought was meta about it was the writer sneaking in like his hatred for the
Yeah.
script he wrote. Little Easter eggs. So what do you guys think about this is where it gets really technical. Piccolo tried to create blood monsters in the previous scene, and then in this next scene his tactic for collecting the Dragon Balls was to get his little henchman woman, well, I guess she's a henchwoman, Mai, to infiltrate a martial arts tournament, steal Chi-Chi's DNA, and then somehow cloak herself to be Chi-Chi, sneak into the temple, steal the Dragon Balls, and then that's how they were going to do it. I think the espionage is hilarious when they're already established as being so powerful. I don't know. What
Yeah,
do you
the
guys
idea
think?
is so convoluted. It's crazy. Like, yeah, like we've
Yeah.
discussed, they can like destroy buildings and burn villages, but they want to go through all of this nonsense just to get a Dragon Ball. Like, I don't know if all of that's really
Yes.
necessary.
I mean, they be diving in the Arctic and in like 20,000 leagues beneath the ocean in the anime and manga. Like, I found it.
Yeah.
Like, sitting there. If they didn't have the Dragon Radar, it would not be nearly as easy.
Yeah. I think just 2,000 years of being dormant, he's trying to work up his strength again.
Yeah,
Piccolo doesn't want to exert himself
I think
yet.
he's just trying to stretch his creativity, you know? He's been bored.
Yeah.
He's been doing nothing. He's been chilling, so he's just
Yeah.
trying to, uh, stretch his legs, see what he can do, see if he can like come up with new creative plots. Like he's writing his own story. That's what he's doing. He's making his own movie.
Yeah. He's trying to give Thanos a run for his money.
That's all.
Uh,
Light work.
oh, a classic scene that's in there is I refer to it as the key sprung scene where Chi-Chi teaches Goku how to master his airbending or whatever it is by blowing out lanterns.
Oh yeah,
What do you guys think about that one?
definitely a solid scene for sure.
Campy.
It's always it's always the hormones that make you master everything. You know,
Yeah.
you can't learn to draw unless it's a penis. You can't learn to wrestle unless it's with a naked dude. You know.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it informs you of everything you do. Hormones. So obviously, Goku can't master airbending without having that womanly carrot dangled in front of him. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's like he's shedding off that crusty old man energy that he was being dominated by and
It
embracing
shouldn't take much of
beauty.
That's
Beauty
right.
awaits. This is what he was talking about.
that. See, now you understand.
Yeah. It all makes sense. Then there's the clone fight scene, the classic switcheroo, where you're fighting the wrong clone or whatever, and
I love that.
classic
Yeah.
Looney Tunes scenario, I guess. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that scene was one of my favorites. And just as a quick forward to that, or flash forward, after Goku knocks out the wrong Chi-Chi, just like flat cold, she's basically dead, on the floor.
Yeah.
Later on, when they're talking again, and Chi-Chi's like, "I let you hit me," it's like, "Oh yeah." In like a key moment when you're trying to defend the Dragon Balls, you let him like knock you out cold. All right, that's cool, man. You guys
Right.
keep doing what you're doing, then. I like your relationship.
This doesn't bode well for the future of their
Yeah.
relationship. It's gonna be pretty
It's
dark.
it's not on solid ground until, well, I guess until it is. 'Cause she got hit.
It's a toxic relationship.
Um,
I'm telling you, bro.
then in this scene, another thing that angered me as a 19-year-old was the Roshi doing the Kamehameha like healing.
Oh.
I didn't know that existed. I'm not sure it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can't do
Definitely a no-go.
That's what they have senzu beans for.
Yeah, that's
that.
this isn't CPR. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to
Yeah,
do
it doesn't
that.
work both ways. You're either putting energy out or whatever. Like, it's like, what if you accidentally, like, it's like if you had your car in drive versus reverse. What if you actually had it to the wrong setting? He just blasted Goku right there instead of healed him. How do you switch the settings?
Obviously, it's really easy for them. They don't got to worry about it. They're all good.
Yeah. Man, such a master. Goku's surrounded by all these masters that somehow end up dying. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Times are changing. That's all.
uh, and from there, we pretty much. So Piccolo has all the Dragon Balls at this point. So then we get into the final confrontation. They go to this specific site where you have to summon Shenlong, which is his name now. It's not Shenron anymore. I guess they couldn't get the copyright for Shenron. Or Shenron didn't want to participate in this crappy movie,
that,
even in CGI form.
They're not taking anything from America, even though it's an American movie. They're just going to be as campy as possible and use all the original Japanese names. So, not Evil Containment Wave, it's Mafuba. Not Shenron, it's Shenlong.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
And Shenlong is obviously overcompensating, even in his name. I'm sure he changed his name because he's like not even long. The original dragon is like miles long. This dude's like maybe like 50 feet long. He's like, oh, I'm Shenlong. Look at me, I'm so long.
The original Shenlong, it doesn't even have an end to it, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He's like, I don't even need to call myself long. I'm Shenron, and look how long I am. Yeah, that little aside. But we'll get back into the plot real quick. I thought it was interesting that they use the Capsule Corp like Hummer, and then they start flying it at one point. But Yamcha's like pedal to the metal. I just thought the fact that I've never seen the miles per hour like maxed out on any vehicle before. I'm just like, I don't know if you can drive 180 in this little Hummer and like not just like blow the engine. I just thought that was crazy that he was just trying to impress Bulma by going 180 and maxing it out.
Heck yeah, man.
Plot armor.
Oh man. And then it just starts flying. Instead of blowing the engine, they start flying instead, which has to take a lot more engine power.
You would think. But Nick, what kind of armor?
Plot armor.
That's right. Plot
armor. That's the theme. Oh man. So we have the whole Ozaru reveal, which I thought was funny that like they timed it out perfectly so that maybe that's why Piccolo was taking his time. He wanted the final confrontation to line up with the moon so that he would transform right when he confronts him, maybe. For trying to defend his
if he beats him at his strongest,
tactics.
he can't come back.
Yeah. But that was disappointing. The whole werewolf transformation instead of the giant ape transformation. I was not feeling that when I first saw it.
Yeah, neither was I, but I guess they just said, people will buy this. Yeah, let's go with it. And I mean, I know there were Dragon Ball fans in the storyboard room looking over like, are you sure about this?
You know, judging
like, yeah, man, how bad
judging
could it
from
be?
how this movie came out, I can't imagine there were any Dragon Ball fans in this boardroom, in this story room, in anything.
Nah, no way. Nah. They probably they probably kind of saw a couple episodes and then they were like, I think I know what I'm talking about.
Got it.
I understand this franchise.
Someone said, watch these episodes. These are characters. And they were like, all right, let's make a movie.
Let's adapt. Another example of that is the fact that they got the top, his fighting gear right, the top of it, but then the bottom he's wearing like some MC Hammer pants or something, like some navy blue. What is up with that?
I don't know, man. I guess they figured he would look cooler with that and
stylistic choices.
Yeah, it was not cool. I just didn't like the way his like legs were like how flowy the pants were, like when he was throwing kicks. I don't know. It wasn't very I don't know. It wasn't very cool. I like the idea of the orange pants tucked into like the boots as a classic look.
Agreed.
Oh yeah. Easily.
But yeah, I mean, this fight is like the climactic fight, and it was kind of a letdown. What do you guys think?
Definitely have no good words to
Man,
say about it for sure.
The only part of it I liked was when they were both in the air for a second, fighting for a few seconds. I was like, okay, that kind of feels like Dragon Ball a little bit, like just mid-air fighting. It's like, okay, cool, and then it stopped, and then yeah, just went bad from there. And then the ultimate betrayal was the Kamehameha like struggle, where it wasn't even like a traditional like the beams are like fighting for position or anything like that. It
That
just
was a
like they
real
went
weak
through
beam
each other.
clash. It was basically just
I'm like,
Goku pushing like a stick. It was a beam stick.
yeah, and he just burst and flew
Yeah.
into him, and oh,
It's supposed to be like I have
that,
air superiority versus like him on the ground and like you said, the beams like pushing back and forth. But nah, Goku just flew up to him, pushed his beam all the way at
yeah,
him, and popped him in the face. And that was that.
yeah. Like they should have showed like Goku like his feet going into the ground and all this rubble coming up from all the power, and
there
Yeah.
ain't no
cool.
way. That kid ain't that strong yet.
Oh man,
It's
it was
with
pretty sad.
Piccolo. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just saying it's pretty sad.
Oh, the fight scene? Yes, it was.
Yeah,
It's very sad because, again, I expected stylized martial arts sequences, and when I didn't get that in this film, it was just
yeah,
so much harder to. It was even harder to take the fight seriously, especially when you have like a whole stunt scene of running away. Like, look, man, people ain't watching Dragon Ball for the story.
yeah.
You know
Yeah,
why
they
they're
could
watching Dragon Ball.
they could have at least redeemed all the bad plot and script if there was some cool fights at least, but not even that.
Nah, I mean that's how I felt about like this movie could have been like the Forbidden Kingdom,
Yeah, that was
which
pretty cool.
yeah, it could have been like that, but I think they just really effed up on this one and said, you know what, let's just put it out so that way we can be done with it.
Yes, indeedy.
Yeah.
True that.
Um, and then we can kind of go into the end real quick, which I thought it was the most on-brand Dragon Ball thing that they did was they have to, after gathering all the Dragon Balls, waste a wish on bringing back someone that stupidly died throughout the struggle. They never actually get to wish for anything. They have to always bring someone back to
Yeah.
life. I thought that was pretty on-brand.
Yeah, very true. Brought Roshi back.
Yeah,
It's like he lived his life.
Yeah.
He's fine. Um,
there's an
and
afterlife
he-
in the Dragon Ball saga.
I will say though that there
Yeah.
was one time in the original show where they did wish for something, and
oh, what they
it
get?
was the god dang it, I can't remember his name, but it was the pig guy. He wished for a pair of underwear.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
But it was to stop someone else from wishing.
Oh,
yeah,
Oolong.
Oolong. He wished for a pair of underwear, and it was to stop someone else from wishing for something.
Yeah, it was the world's softest pair of cotton
Yeah,
panties.
yeah.
That was the
Nice.
that was the very first wish made on the Dragon Balls in the series, made by Oolong, and a lot of people forget about that. It was just to stop somebody else from wishing. And you know what the funny thing is? They actually bring that up in Dragon Ball GT. And it's like in one of the later, lamer sagas where the dragon, the eternal dragon ends up splitting up into 7 different dragons, and they have to fight them all. And like each of them is based on like a wish, like was born of like a wish that was made on the Dragon Balls previously. And and Goku's like, which wish are you? And then the girl gets like, it's a female dragon. She gets all like embarrassed and starts blushing. She's like, I was the pair of cotton panties that Oolong wished for, or something like that. Like, it was just it was the weirdest thing ever. Like,
Quick throwback.
I always thought it was funny. Like, I was like, man, dude, they just couldn't leave that part alone, could they? Like,
Hey, that was
they
that
couldn't
was funny,
wish for
though.
something. Like, I mean, it was. It really was. I thought it was kind of cool because he just said, the world's softest pair of cotton panties. And then, like, after all is said and done, like, they done saved the day. You see the fool standing there with them all over his
Yeah.
dome. Like,
Dang. And last scene, the little showdown, so that they could prove their love to each other, Chi Chi and Goku. What do you guys think of that scene?
The which one?
The very last scene where
Oh
they
yeah,
face off and
right. That was
show
from
their
my
love for
flash
each other.
forward, their little fight or whatever, right? Yeah. Uh
Yeah.
huh. I let you hit me.
Oh man.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
Jesus.
No.
Nothing good about that.
Man.
It's the start of a toxic relationship.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the last like scene with their I was like, what are they doing? Why are they? He's gonna mop the floor with her. You know, but I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it was a way to round it out. Like,
I guess they wanted to establish how they would have a really strong kid later,
Yeah.
maybe that she had some experience in martial arts. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know.
They gotta show how Gohan becomes a thing.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna make that sequel. You know, I think it's been decided.
I-
We're gonna make that sequel.
I pro. I promise our listeners that we will, if we ever come by the financial means to make it, we will reunite the cast and make the sequel and we'll write the script and we'll
cast
right
you
the
in Wu
wrongs.
Ping to do the fight scenes, choreograph the fight scenes. I'll tell you, they'll be slamming, literally.
Slamming.
Nice. But yeah, I think that's it for first segment. We can move along to creme de la creme now. So do you guys have any favorite quotes from the movie? Or most
Favorite quotes? I'm gonna have to say that my favoriteest quote. Unfortunately, I don't really have it written down, if I remember correctly. Oh, I think my favorite quote is just in the beginning, when he's talking to his grandpa, and he just wants to be normal. It's just running through that again.
yeah.
He's like, "Come on, Grandpa, I'm done. I want to know how to talk to girls. I just want to learn how to be normal." And his grandpa's like, "Nah, normal's for normies, man. You don't need that." And that was the end of the conversation, and that's how we knew how this movie was gonna go. Abnormal. That is.
They push me so far I want to explode. that exchange, right?
Yeah, my goodness, man. It's the best ever.
Nick, do you have a nominee for your favorite quote?
I don't know. I think that all the lines in the movie are just so bad that there's I can't even decide.
Which one made you cringe the most?
Ooh. Which one didn't make me cringe?
Your nominees
Probably.
are Beauty Awaits, Don't Let Ozaru Destroy the Goku in You, stuff like that.
Oh, probably they push me so far they make me want to
Yeah,
explode.
that one's
Oh
classic.
my goodness! I said this. It can't be this bad. It can't be this bad. This is all right. And then I saw it and I said, no, it is. It did let me down.
We can always think it's not that bad.
Cognitive dissonance.
One of my subtle favorites is the Yamcha quote. After he joins the crew, he says, "Everything happens for a reason, bro. Got that one from daytime TV." And I still am perplexed and confused what that means.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's like a soap opera reference, but it went over my head. So I think
Yeah.
Yamcha is operating on like a different level than anyone else in the
Yeah.
universe.
Apparently
He's
so.
definitely in his own spectrum for sure.
He's got
But
his
he's a-
own view of the world.
Yamcha, he always catches his soaps before he does his banditing, I guess.
Yeah, let's go with that.
And I already said this as an option, but I think "Don't Let Ozaru Destroy the Goku in You" is a classic line. It encapsulates the whole movie right there. Like anyone could take that advice and use it in their everyday life, I think. Oh man. I guess we can move on to favorite scene. So, what's the creme de la creme in this movie for you guys?
Ooh, creme de la creme. The cream of the crop, the stuff that floats to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, obviously this is an anti-scene because I don't know that there's too many that actually stand out. But I think maybe the fight scene,
Which one?
the fight scene where he's messing with the
Ah.
bullies at the house party.
I have that on my list too.
Yeah, I guess.
Same here.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, though, I'd probably have to say the one where he punches Chi-Chi right in the face.
The clone
Just
fight.
knocks her right out. Yeah, the clone fight. I don't know why. I just love that one. That whole thing. That whole setup is great.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I just feel so bad for Chi-Chi, you know? And, like, she doesn't even care that she got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
She puts it on full display later on. She's like, whatever. Ain't no thing.
I don't know.
I mean, you
It's all
could
good,
have broke
Goku.
my
I know you were
jaw.
confused. You're pretty dumb anyway. It's not your brains that I'm going after, you know?
Right.
It's your ability to dominate other bullies and be the ultimate alpha bully.
The alpha male of the pack.
Yeah, it's that heavy forehead vein.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Nick?
Gotta love it.
The party fight
I'd
too
say-
for you?
Yeah, man. Just because of the fact that I really wish he would have thrown a punch, but then it wouldn't have been nothing, and there probably would have been huge shock waves going through the entire party. You know, if they really wanted to be about it. But I digress. It was okay for not having to throw a punch and then like sliding across the top of
Yeah. Classic.
sliding across the top of the car on his head. I actually thought that was it was stupid for no reason, but it was funny that they threw that in there just because. Like I said, for what? But all the same, It was still funny. I get a kick out of it every time I see it. That's the only thing in that movie that was worth seeing.
Yeah.
It's another one of those fun things.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's all kind of all the fight scenes have little moments of redeemability, and then they offset it with something that just goes against the whole spirit of Dragon Ball, like the climactic fight we already talked about earlier. How just the clashing of the beams was just like a letdown, and just like I can't vote for that to be the climax of the movie. It's like just such a letdown. I don't know, man.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It could have been so much better. They really dropped the ball on that one. I mean, and it was so sad too because I really thought it was gonna be something magical, and then I saw that and I was so disappointed. I mean, especially because I like where they were going with it, but just some of that stuff in that movie was just a lot of the stuff in this movie was just indefensible. I mean, even if Dragon Ball wasn't a thing, that movie still would have been that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. It's just sad. It's a bad movie overall. There's really nothing redeeming about it. It's like, no matter the source material, like Nick said, even if it's not Dragon Ball, and it was just, you know, a movie based on its own merit, its own character, its own originality, then it's still a bad movie.
So it's kind of also hard to do this next part. Best performance, like acting wise. Who do you think was putting in the most work as an actor?
Randall, Duck, Kim, Chow Yun Fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roshi.
Yeah, and then that's it.
I kind of liked Bulma. I kind of liked the way she played that character.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Bulma was pretty good. And I think Roshi was good.
Yeah.
I liked Piccolo. I feel like Piccolo was a pretty consistent character.
Yeah, he was
He wasn't given
like
much to work
James
with.
Marsters.
Yeah.
James Marsters made him kind of menacing, so to speak. So
Uh-huh.
at the very least, he didn't portray. He actually was kind of like he tried to make him like as dark as he could and as menacing as he could. I mean, he didn't have much to work with, like you said, but he did that. And you know what? The Dragon Ball franchise chose to align themselves with him again. He did that good a job. So,
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
you know,
So that's obviously confirmation that he didn't do terrible in the movie if they're willing to work with him again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like as a bad guy, he did a pretty decent job of like pulling it off as a character.
yeah.
Even like if the movie as a whole wasn't good, I feel like his performance was pretty all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll never put that on I'll never put that on the actor. If they did a job, hey, they did a good job, you know. I can't fault them that the movie itself sucked. You know, hey, they got paid, so you know, like I don't know. It was just kind of like crazy. It was most of the time, you know, you'll watch these movies and then like some of them will be like it'd be like Star Wars. It's a good movie with bad acting. And so that was one of the things that made it such a stand. Like because of the overall you know, I guess world building that is Star Wars, it's revered. But I mean, you watch Hayden Christensen and it's just, man, it's just so bad. Like it's like that. So you know, there's nothing that can make that. I mean, it's or Catwoman is a good example of where both are bad, where the acting and the movie are bad. I mean, she already ain't that. I can't take her seriously.
Yeah, Halle Berry got a Razzie, didn't she?
Yeah, she got a Razzie for that movie, and she accepted it. For worst actress or like worst movie or something like that. Like it was like really, and she accepted it, and she was like basically like, "Oh, this movie was whack," and I acknowledge that. No, you were whack too.
All right.
I just
any
can't
oth-
take her seriously.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just talking shit. Don't worry.
Any other cream that we want to emphasize before we move on? Anything else good?
Yeah, I don't
No,
think so.
no more. All the creams.
I'll say
are
that,
slurped up.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I'll say the Dragon Balls actually looked pretty cool though.
Okay.
True. I like the little swirly effect. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not how they're supposed to be, but I think it's a cool little added thing that they did.
Yeah. I think that gives
So
them
hard to-
kind of like
hard to hate on that.
that gives them that mystic feel.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And I can't emphasize enough how whack Shen Long was as a dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely disappointing.
Not very long.
Yeah. Shen Short is more like it.
That's funny.
He didn't even talk
bro.
either.
I know. I was waiting for that booming voice, but nah. He's just like Ho-Oh at the end of the Pokemon movie, flying around and just dips out with the rainbow.
Shenron must have been on
Depressing.
vacay.
Sadness. I know. He had his crappy younger cousin take his place in the meantime.
That's all.
Exactly. All right. I guess we can move on to Hero Life Coach now. This one's hard because it's hard to root for really anyone. Goku's supposed to be our hero, but I think it's kind of like a like everyone's kind of taking turns being the hero. I kind of think it's a mix of Goku, Bulma, Chi-Chi, and even Roshi a little bit. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that Bulma is in there. I guess Chi-Chi to some degree. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like Roshi
Yeah.
is kind of the biggest hero of
Yeah,
them all.
the Mafu Ba thing or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That actually
That's
evil containment wave.
It didn't exactly work, but I guess he was at least trying.
Yeah, exactly. It's the intention. He tried. He failed real hard. He got himself killed, but he tried.
So
that was such a funny scene for me too. I gotta say, just as a
got
quick
choked
aside,
out.
and like how like quickly like they spent all this time at the end building up the Mafu Ba, and then it was like a 5-second scene of him using it to dying, to it like failing,
And
like the payoff for that was just like right off a canyon.
It's like, okay,
so
so why
bad.
did you even put this in here? Why is this a plot device if all he was gonna do was get him killed?
Yeah.
all right.
It was like I would have liked to have seen that turn into a bigger struggle,
Yeah, the whole climax was pretty lackluster.
Yeah. But yeah, Roshi,
Okay.
that's my biggest
we got
hero.
4.
Bulma, just because she helped drive things, with the whole Dragon Ball radar and stuff.
All right. Well, we have 4 potential heroes here. So let's start with Roshi. What, if you were going to be his life coach, what advice would you give him to improve his performance?
I think the biggest thing would just be like transparency, man. He didn't really let anyone in on
Yeah.
that. He didn't let anyone know that he was gonna kill himself.
Dang.
Like, if I was gonna become a sacrifice, I'd let people know, like, hey, man, it really sucks, but honestly, like, if you're not ready, if I'm not sure, I got a surefire way, buddy. I got a surefire way. I'm gonna take him down, but I'm gonna die. So be prepared for that, okay? But nah, he just went out there and played Russian roulette really quick, and then everyone else is just left to deal with the aftermath. So transparency. Consider the people with you. That's all I gotta say.
Like, consider, like, let the guys know, like, hey, we can get this little ritual in real quick before the moon and before the transformation, and we'll be good, and I won't get choked out.
Right.
Nick, any advice for Roshi?
Yeah.
Nick, do you have any
What
advice for
happened to
Roshi?
I know. I was trying to search my thoughts in that moment, because it's like, I mean, I'm gonna ask for the unrealistic and be like, "Hey, man, what happened to that buff form?"
Yeah.
So, I mean,
True that. I feel that.
like, I mean, he was about it. Roshi did fight in the Tournament of Power. He never stopped training.
Mm-hmm.
That he should have just went just and then just
Yeah.
once.
I mean,
just,
like, if we're taking characters, might as well take Roshi's like anime ripped form, right?
Yeah.
use what he's got.
Which was going to be my advice for him was, I like your transparency thing, but transparency and cardio for him, because he like let himself go. Because he's like he's like 20 years older than he should be. Like, he's acting like he's older than he looks. And I think that's I don't know. It might be cardio.
Yeah, they try to play that. Yeah, they try to play that in the movie too, by saying he's Gohan's teacher and Gohan's like the super old man, but like Roshi has like straight black hair, like he's still a spry young man. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But what can you say?
All right.
like, I don't really understand it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just don't understand it. Like, cause Roshi's always likes to make himself out to seem like an old man, but never has he been like, oh, my back. Like, no, he's like, they're like, hey, we need you to fight, and he's like, all right, where's it at? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
This Roshi let himself go.
Oh yeah, too many donuts.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Let's see. We got Goku, Bulma, Chi-Chi. Any advice for Chi-Chi?
You could do better.
Advice for Chi-Chi. Yeah, man, I don't know.
Instead of playing around with Geeko.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, baby, this kid,
Hang with the
Geeko.
better crowd, I guess.
Yeah, just focus on your martial arts. Don't, you know.
I mean, imagine what would it have been like if they had showed the Ox King.
Yeah, this giant dude.
That would have been dope.
It would have been like Ving Rhames and shit.
Yeah, because he's like 15 feet tall or something in the anime, right?
Yeah, the
He's
fool's
huge.
huge.
He's a big boy.
But that fool's a
He's a
gentle
big
giant.
boy. He's fake AF.
Cause Goku whoop his ass.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean that kind of explains her tendency to go for like people that can dominate other people, I guess.
Apparently so, but the Ox King ain't threatening when they show it. Like, that fool is... I'm sorry, I thought of this dub that this guy did for
Let me see it. Let me see it.
it's not that one. It's actually even better. It's because you brought up the Ox King. So he's like he makes him sound just like the dub. And it's
Nice.
And he's like, yeah, so it was from the Battle of Gods movie, and you see the Ox King standing there with his tie on talking to somebody. He's got a tie on over a tank top. And the guy goes, so she told me, I'm not cooking shit for you. You eat too damn much. And then they have him like, and because like I guess he moved, they make him edit, like they edit it so where he goes like moves forward. And so I said, bam, took that hoe's head off. I ain't playing that shit. Oh my god. I have to link you to it. It's too funny. But
No doubt.
when
no
it comes
doubt.
to the Ox King, they would have had to do some monumental efforts on CGI in order to make that fool look even slightly accurate in the movie.
Yeah.
It just would have been like so unusual. I mean, but he would have had no place in the
Like
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like we said, we're gonna make our own. So we'll be sure to find a way to pencil him.
Yeah,
in.
we'll get him. We'll get him in there.
We'll
Yeah,
think
yeah.
tanks in the storyboard room.
We can have the guy that plays
Yeah.
the mountain on Game of Thrones play him.
There we go.
I've never
And
watched a
just
single
for
episode.
the extra effect, we'll throw some prosthetics on him too, just to make him even whiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
what
to summarize,
extra
basically,
CGI?
Chi-Chi, be better. Just focus on your skills and don't get caught up in these douchebags that want to bully people.
Yeah,
Goddamn
from
Goku.
other planets.
You see how he messes up your life in the anime. Don't do it in the movie too.
Yeah.
Right. Can't go train freely, okay? In order to escape
Yeah.
child support, you got to be dead.
Yeah. Think about that. Don't be a single mom.
Man.
Don't got to raise
Nothing
your
against single
kids if you
moms.
dead.
Just saying. Yeah.
Oh god. All right. What about Bulma? What advice can we give Bulma?
I think she's got a pretty good head on her shoulders, honestly. She might be the most level-headed character of the bunch.
Yeah.
Agreed. She's doing well, financially, career wise. She it seems like she's got a slight interest in bandits.
Yeah. Not great.
But yeah, but I mean, if you're as secure as you are, I think you're allowed to do whatever you want. So I think she's good.
Eh.
Bulma, keep it up,
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah, my advice is just treat this as like a little short diversion and just forget you met any of these people on this adventure and go back to your regular life, being the Tony Stark of this universe, and just forget Goku ever existed,
There you
and
go.
you'll be better off.
Save yourself the headache.
So what about Goku? What advice can we give him? He's a mess.
Yeah, Goku, man. I don't know.
Train harder.
Yeah,
believing
be
in
normal,
your,
bro.
believing in
didn't
yourself
you
ain't
just
gonna
ask your
work next
grandpa?
time. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think maybe therapy might work for this guy.
He's gonna need a
Work
whole
out
lot
some
of it.
problems, man. You got some emotional issues you need to take care of. Nothing wrong with taking a little mental break, relaxation, work on yourself as a person, understand where your problems are, shortcomings are, and grow, evolve, as the title of the movie
Yeah.
says.
No one evolves.
Absolutely.
Everyone deserves it, and so do you, Goku.
I mean, it's like, I mean, but how much more could this guy evolve? This fool sucks. Apparently,
I think
the
he
job is
devolved,
done.
actually. Yeah, he devolved into Uzaro.
He
Yeah.
said, "Man, I'm going back to where I came from."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he needs to go to college, just learn some stuff, and be free from the influence of Gohan and Roshi, these crusty
Take a pottery
guys.
class or something, you know?
What?
Yeah, but it didn't take them.
So take a pottery class or something,
yeah.
you know?
Man, I'm telling you, they legit did not teach him anything because he's in class staring at his classmates, fantasizing.
Strawberries.
You poor boy. Yeah. It's like the most illicit thing you could possibly put in a PG movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, that's a little strange. So in some sexualized way, this attractive woman is. I mean, if you really think about it, they're like 16, 17 here.
Well, he's
So
turning 18.
freaking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's turning 18. Why do they? You know
So
what? Let me
prophecy
not get
is
started.
fulfilled when he's 18.
Let me not get started before I. Nah.
Yeah, we'll see. He's probably a lost cause, but yeah.
More than likely.
So we can move on now to the next segment, bad behavior enabler. So I think it's kind of muddled as well. There's not a clear villain. It's supposed to be Piccolo, but I think it's also a little mix of Mai is actually carrying most of the weight because he sends her to do all the dirty work. And then I also think we can't ignore the bullies as sub villains. I also put Goku and Gohan in that group of bullies, along with all the high school bullies. Bullying in general is a villain in this movie, I think.
The concept
Yeah,
is its own persona,
it's
its own villain.
yeah, the toxicity of it just weighs on everybody, and you could see how they're all just indebted to it.
Basically.
So, what advice would you guys give Piccolo to step up his game?
Man.
Just go and wipe
Well, first of
Goku
all,
out.
man, you got to step out into the battlefield more. Obviously, you got power, so use it, you know? Be
Right.
the villain you were meant to be. You did it in, like, the first attempt to take over the world, so why you being coy now?
Right.
Just gotta say, man, you can do it. You have the power. Take control. Kill everybody. Don't use minions. Use yourself.
Yeah.
You're strong. I
Right.
believe in you.
I'm not comfortable
believe
with
in
bad
you, buddy.
conditioning be a reason for two characters to not be up to peak performance.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, they just. For Piccolo. Yeah, just go out there. You should have just went over there, wiped Goku and them out, taken the Dragon Radar, and then just moved on. Just said, all right, they're all out there.
It's not even exactly clear what his goal was, because I think his whole thing was to team up with Ozaru again, right? So he didn't want to kill Goku, but like he wanted to toy with him. Maybe he was just waiting it out. He wanted it to line up so that the moon thing was gonna line up with their final confrontation. He's like a master
So-
time management planner.
Yeah.
Man.
That was the whole thing. He had to extend the destruction and the Dragon Ball hunt. That's why he did the whole clone fight and all that.
So I know this
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
gonna work.
He just needed to spread the clock,
Yeah.
run out the timer.
Um,
He's like, it's not fun to just sit and hide. Gotta keep it entertaining. Keep this story flowing, man.
which kind of brings me to my like, where did she come from? How did he recruit her? And like, how's he paying her? He just came out of like, I don't know, some hibernation. He doesn't have money. I mean, unless he's like, maybe he just robbed a bank before he met her, and he's just like, look, I got the loot. You want to join up with me?
I got the loot.
But
No,
I
yeah.
don't know what's in it
I
for
don't
her.
know, man. She's just a rando.
Yeah. Easily corruptible, I guess. So, if we were going to enable their behavior, play devil's advocate, how would we defend these guys in their mission to get revenge on Earth? What do you guys think? Because it's not even like a Thanos situation where at least he's trying to do population control. I think Piccolo just wants revenge.
Yeah. Well, if I'm trying to be on Piccolo's side, I gotta say that maybe he'd be a just ruler. You never know.
Yeah.
He maybe he'd bring justice, peace, order, that whole spiel. I mean, obviously they're not doing it themselves. Look at the bullies.
Yeah.
It's messed
Rampant.
up. Yeah, it's everywhere.
He'll rule with a green iron fist.
Yeah. Imagine Piccolo in a Tekken match. the King of Iron Fist tournament.
Crap. All right, I'm with you on that.
No, but yeah.
I think we had our shot. Civilization. We squandered our shot at civilization. We just need someone to oversee us now. It's there's nothing left.
Yep. Yeah. Sometimes you just need a Nanny McPhee or whoever to come in and manage your life. And think the Goku universe has gotten to that point.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick? He had to defend Piccolo's actions.
Yeah, I mean, to him, he's like, it's not evil. I'm just trying to eat like y'all.
Yeah, there you go.
I respect that.
Yeah,
I respect the hustle. All right.
you know.
What about bullies? How do we defend these guys? They're obviously the popular kids, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, bullies, like, obviously it establishes the hierarchy. Like, if you don't have bullies, how are you supposed to know who's in charge?
Darwinism.
How are you supposed to know who runs things? Exactly. You're just gonna let the weaklings run the country? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We need alphas. We need omegas. We don't need betas.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on now. We don't need Goku simps running around, taking over. I mean, when he started to embrace his real bully,
That's when he mastered his
that's when
ki.
the plot moved along.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like we see that it's that the bullying is truly like what caused this whole thing to begin. It inspires greatness in people.
Yeah.
We need to bully more. Disclaimer. We don't really believe that.
Yeah, but he was set up for failure, the being raised by a bully and becoming a bully helps him get the girl. Like, what was this poor kid taught? Oh. Man.
Yep. It's sad.
All right. I guess we can move on now to the trophy case segment, where we will decide where this film stands in the filmography of James Wong, the director. In my opinion, I guess it's probably third place. I would rank maybe the Final Destination series. He got that off the ground and it was successful, made money. And The One with Jet Li were both more successful than this. Overall, I'm not a fan of any of his films, but at least Final Destination started a franchise. He should be credited with that, at least.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
give him that, but
For-
Paramount took a chance.
I think
Which,
yeah, I think
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, I want do your take first, and I'll do my thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Dragon Ball Evolution, definitely falls by the wayside for sure. From the movies that I've seen, Final Destination 1, Final Destination 3, the one, those are good movies. I think I might have seen Black Christmas. I'm not 100% sure. But if I remember correctly, that's one that happened at like a hotel or something, or a motel. If that is the one I'm thinking of, then I'm going to put all of those movies ahead of Dragon Ball Evolution, and I'm going to place this one at a 4 of the movies that I've seen.
So
A 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
it has nowhere but the bottom to go.
Or 5. 5, I guess, yeah. Because I just listed 4 above that. 5. Haha, 5.
I'll at least rank it above the movies I haven't seen from him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I think this is a good time to talk about how we can redeem this this arc right here, and we can make the rightful sequel to this movie. What do you guys think? We secure the capital, we bring back the crew, everyone reprises their roles, and we make the true continuation of the Dragon Ball Z saga. I think we can pull it off.
100% down. Yep.
I'm
Ready to make this happen.
only if we can hire Yuan Wu Ping.
Who?
You got to tell me who that is, because I don't know.
He's one of the best major fight choreographers in the industry.
That's a good start.
He did the
I am down.
he did the choreography for the fight scenes in The Matrix.
Mm.
Oh, sick. Sounds
See,
good. Do we get as much bullet time, too?
What?
Do we get bullet time, too? I want bullet time in this.
I'm with it.
Well,
I mean,
this
well,
movie
why
had
wouldn't
fountain
you have
time
bullet time?
already. This
Yeah,
movie
what?
had fountain time already. Where that guy got thrown
Oh
into the
my
fountain.
goodness.
Yeah.
Okay,
down.
see, we're already making progress on this sequel. I
Heck yeah.
think it's not a coincidence that this movie came out the same year as the first Avatar movie, and we have yet to see the sequels that have been promised for Avatar. I think James Wong is lying in wait and perhaps developing the sequel to Dragon Ball Evolution as we speak. I believe all the actors are out in the forest training and just getting bulked up because now they got to play the Dragon Ball Z versions of their characters. You can't rule that out.
Yep. No, I definitely believe it. I think it's 90% happening for sure.
The was it the chamber thing that you can go into and train for like years?
Hyperbolic time
Yeah,
chamber.
that could be involved.
Yes.
Hey. Yep.
But for teaching
Yep.
them how to be actors.
Yeah. Gonna have you do some Shakespearean stuff, some method stuff. You're gonna go through all of the training, all of it. And you're gonna be ancient by the time you come out, but hey, you know what? That's what stunt doubles are for. We just need your faces, man.
Oh, I just thought of some interesting idea.
What was that?
What if they had... What if Gohan, Goten, and Trunks all go into the hyperbolic time chamber for like a day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, they can't because somehow Vegeta blew it up from the inside. Whatever.
Well, in our Dragon Ball cinematic universe, that won't happen.
All right,
It can't happen. It's impossible.
It is impossible. It's in another dimension. How do you blow it up from the inside?
Yeah, that's not canon in our universe.
Problem solved.
Boom. See, we're making decisions. We're setting the groundwork.
Yep.
This film's like 25% done already. We're there.
Legit.
Yeah. I think we've already pulled together more plot lines than we did than they did for the original Dragon Ball Evolution movie. We're doing great.
Yeah. So yeah, we promised earlier, but we'll promise again. listeners, if we ever get the capital to make this sequel, we will do it. We promise you that.
Yeah, we'll deliver on that front.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you guys
Yep.
want to add to the trophy case before we move on?
Think that's it. I think we're good.
All right. Oh, what?
Actually, one thing I do see here is that apparently he was a producer on American Horror Story.
Oh, yeah, that's what he's into now, right?
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
So obviously that's a pretty good show.
Yeah, maybe producing's for
I
him.
can say that I've only seen like 1.5 though.
Yeah, I haven't really watched him too much.
Yeah, the first season I really liked. That was really good. Second season I was having struggles getting through. I think I'm like almost done with that one. But obviously, you know, if it's run for like however many seasons it has, it's doing pretty well. People like
Yeah.
it. So he deserves a plus on that one. So we're going to put Dragon Ball at 6.
Aw, poor Dragon Ball. All right.
Poor baby.
So we can move on to moral compass. So what do you guys think? What is the moral of the story? What did you get out of it, and what do you think the filmmakers were trying to get across? Tough.
Appreciate the time you have with the loved ones that you have in your life.
Yeah. They don't make houses like they used to. They're prone to collapsing.
Yep. Yep. Always make sure to be going to therapy.
Yes.
Moral of the story. Yeah.
Combat is the law of the universe.
Yeah. The stronger you are, the better you are. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about.
You're just a whole other type of being.
Yeah.
I think Grandpa Gohan said it best. Don't let Ozaru destroy the Goku in you. Whatever the Goku in you is, on a personal level,
Yep.
you gotta keep
I
it
like it.
alive.
Yeah,
It's a good lesson.
I think that's fitting.
Yeah.
He is Goku. He is Ozaru. He must be both.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's all I got. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can move on to Richter scale if you guys are ready to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Again. All right. Moving on to the last segment, Richter scale. So we got the 3 categories. What did you guys think? What did you give it for the first category? Impact on film history or genre?
So for my score, impact on film history, I'm giving it a solid 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm giving it 8 because of its anti-effect. After this movie came out, yeah, I
That's
haven't
strong.
seen any. Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen any like
Reverberations.
anime movies or anything like that for a solid 5 to 10 years. No serious contenders out there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pretty much killed the market for that. And
Yeah.
then beyond that, it's obviously infamous. I personally hadn't seen this movie, and up until like right before filming this podcast, and the fact that I heard so many things about it, and I'd heard about it nonstop, since it came out. I think the fact that people are so willing to talk so much bad, about it says that obviously it had a strong effect on people. So obviously on the industry, killed the market. In
Yeah.
people, it killed their love. So yeah, I can't give this anything lower than an 8 personally for impact. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Nick?
Uh,
Similar
9.
sentiment, right? Yeah. Crap.
Yeah, because it was just so monumental. Like it really, as everyone put it, it really kind of soured people's expectations on anime, video game to like live action adaptations. Because and then it just kind of it also proved the old adage because people already didn't have much belief in it before, and then like this movie came out and they totally shit the bed. It was just so abysmal and handled so poorly that it was just like wow. So it made a huge impact because of it changed the way it definitely like lowered people's expectations of these adaptations even more. Especially when you factor in that this is the most popular anime franchise on the planet. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, not a good look. So,
Yep.
9.
Yep.
I see. Yeah, and me myself, I gave it a 3 out of 10, and I see like the way you guys approached it is interesting. It had a negative like reverberation in the industry. Um, I kind of just went the other way because I just wanted it to have the lowest overall score possible.
Nah,
But I see what
I
you guys did.
understand.
I agree with your approach as well. Um, Pretty much, I just think the fact that it's just largely forgotten now. Like the only people that remember it are the people that probably put money into making it. They remember it as like a big mistake. But
Yeah.
like
Right.
most people, aside from the memes, don't really know of it and haven't really seen it. So that I'm just thinking of like, is it something that a lot of people have seen and talk about or reference? And that's kind of where I arrived at 3 out of 10. Um, I did put that it was significant that it was a action adaptation of the most popular anime series, which is kind of what
Mhm.
Nick said too. That was significant, and then it kind of just pulled the plug on any future anime adaptations for quite some time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
So that's significant too. That it just kind of just spooked everyone from investing money in these kind of projects for a while.
Yep. Hmm.
All right, so personal score. What do you guys got for it?
Personal score for me, I'm giving it a solid 3 because it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, but it does have those few redeeming qualities. The head slide on the car, a whole bunch of that forehead vein from Goku. God, so
Mm,
attractive. Love me some familial abuse, domestic abuse from Goku and his grandpa.
yeah, and he passed it on to his future wife.
Yep, love that.
Chain chain of
Love that
violence.
domestic abuse between him and his relationship. Yep, knocking out Chi Chi. She don't mind. She likes the fight, right? So
He's gonna start sending her into watermelons soon, I bet.
yeah, telling her it's okay to not be
That's
normal.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Crap.
No longer.
but yeah.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
2.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
Any how'd you arrive at that score?
Do you have to ask?
No, but for the benefit of our listeners, let's just give them something.
How is it a benefit? They know why they're watching this review. They know what they were going to hear. Did they really expect it? Are you guys watching this review to expect us on this movie to hear me say, like, give this movie the benefit of the doubt? This movie was bad. You came here you came here to hear us rip on this flick. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you don't have to ask. I came to the conclusion of 2 out of 10 because this movie was just flat out whack.
I
Chow
want to
Yun
hear,
Fat was like
I
low
want to
key
hear
the
how you
only
even
thing
gave
that
them
saved
2
it.
stars.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, what separated it from a
'Cause
1 star movie to a 2 star? There has to be something.
Chow Yun Fat and James
Okay.
Marsters.
A
So there were some redeemable performances. All right, cool.
sick.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add before I present my score?
The little swirl on the Dragon Balls.
Nah,
Yeah,
that is
there we
worth a
go.
point.
Kind
Nice.
of gave them a little bit more of an interesting look, and I appreciate that. After that, nothing.
Yeah, I also gave it a 2 out of 10. I'm trying to remember why it didn't get a 1. Let's see. Pretty much my notes here are that it was a huge letdown, as I mentioned before. I saw it when I was younger, saw it for cheap, and still felt cheated. Because I was a really big fan as a kid of the whole Dragon Ball series, and I thought like as a kid for years, like, oh, it'd be so cool if they actually made a movie about this. And then when it finally came out, it was just like they didn't even watch the anime or even pay tribute to it. They just took like little essences of it and couldn't even capture what made Dragon Ball great. It was my main complaint. That's how I got down to 2.
Make Dragon Ball great again.
Yeah, we will. We're working on it.
Absolutely.
And I guess it would just have to be certain performances I thought were cool. Some of the fights had some decent moments. I liked Roshi, Bulma. Piccolo was pretty menacing in his own way with his crappy script and crappy choreography. So it was more like there was something that could have been something good, but the script was too bad to let it be that. So it at least gets 2 from me in that scenario. But yeah, so averaged out, the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes was 1.5 out of 10. So that averages out for me to be a 2.2 out of 10 overall, which I think is perfect in my eyes for how I view this movie. And what'd you guys arrive at for your average?
Yeah, so for my average, it comes to 4.2. And I mean, considering the film impact, that definitely racked up the score. So
Yeah. It's justifiable, though.
Yeah, I think
it is infamous, as you said.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable score, and that's where I'm at. Yep.
Cool. And I think, Nick, you had the same score as well, right? Are you happy with a 4.2?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I wasn't happy with this movie. So, gotta be happy with something.
Nice. Cool. Any closing thoughts before we wrap things up?
I
This
think
shit was whack.
Yeah, I think our movie will be much better. We're going to do a fantastic job.
Yes.
Everyone look forward to it. I hope you appreciate
gonna
the
be
effort we're
rated
putting
R.
in already. You got to hear the formulating thoughts of it right here, right now. Congratulations. Please feel free to comment. Let us know any of your thoughts, what you think we should do to make it better. Whether that be like making Justin Chatwin bald, and maybe he can play Raditz or not Raditz, but
Krillin?
what's his name? Huh?
Krillin?
I think that would be great. CGI him, make him shorter. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He
Who
could
else
play
is
a mini
bald?
Krillin. I was thinking,
TN.
no,
Oh.
not Tien. No. It's Vegeta's sidekick.
Oh,
Vegeta.
Nappa.
There we go, yeah. Vegeta,
Nappa.
what's the scouter say about his power level?
It's over 9,000.
Yeah,
It's
you know
just
what? We'll
funny
just
as-
make Justin Chatwin play every bald character and
Oh,
just
God.
size him up and down via CGI, as well as playing Goku. I think that'll be great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know he's been training. He's ready.
Mm-hmm. He's had 10 years to like brush up on his acting chops, so
Yeah.
he's got the time. He's got the time in.
We're going to let him redeem himself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But yeah.
But at the end of the day, we had a groovy time watching the movie, whether the actual reviews and our opinion of the movie were groovy. It was the experience that was groovy. And that's why we will watch all kinds of movies on the Groovy Movie Review, including horrible monstrosities like this one. It's our mission statement.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
I think that's it.
Nothing
Everyone,
here.
thanks for dropping by. This was a fun show to film. We appreciate you listening. We hope that you join us again in the future or check out again any of the stuff that we put out, any of the backlog that we have. This is our first episode, but feel free to pretend that we have more after this. But yeah, thank you. This has been fun, and we hope to hear you again.
All right. Later.
All right. Laters, guys.